Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Missy. Thanks for joining me again for today's layout. It's for My Scraps and More, and it's for this week's Got Talent Challenge, which we have going up every Friday throughout the summer. And this Friday it's my turn to issue the challenge. And the challenge is to start with plain cardstock of whatever color you want and create your own background using washi tapes and ribbon. No pattern paper at all. And I know that that's a challenge because it seems like everything in scrapbooking revolves around pattern paper. So I looked at this as a challenge because that's what this contest is about, is challenge. And so I printed out some black and white pictures of me and my friend Jennifer acting crazy, which is pretty much what we do every time we get together, and some white cardstock. And I went through my huge stash of ribbon because I have a huge stash of it from years past that, you know, you just wind up with this stuff on your shelves and you think you're going to use it and then you wind up not using it, and years later there it still sits. And I'm looking at these containers of ribbon and I'm thinking, I need to use that stuff. So I started to go through the colors and the different patterns and everything of all the ribbons that I have, and I came across that striped one that's got the pink, the blue, the red, and the brown in it, and the teal. And that inspired me to use that thread as my color scheme there. So I went through all my other ribbons and picked out some that had those colors in it. And I don't know why my screen looks fuzzy. I hope it doesn't look fuzzy to you. I don't know why it's out of focus there. Anyway, I started just cutting strips. I kind of figured out where I wanted my pictures, and I printed out my title because it's going to be a couple of dorks, because that's what we are. And I went ahead and cut that on my Cameo, and I want to put that directly across the center there. And so I'm just going through my ribbons here, and I'm cutting some of them to make them look uneven and jagged. And then I'm going to take my washi tape, and I'm just creating strips here because, you know, with pattern paper you can cut squares, rectangles, all these different shapes, and with ribbon you pretty much have strips, and with washi tape you pretty much have strips. So that in itself is a challenge. So if you're going to take part in this challenge, you know, think about that as part of your design. Is you pretty much, well, you can create shapes with the washi tape and the ribbon. I didn't think about that. It's going to take some thought behind it to come up with, you know, your design, because everything is in small bits. You know, ribbon's pretty small, washi tape's pretty small, so you're going to have to get creative with it. And you can use as much white space as you want. You can use as much ribbon or tape as you want. It's up to you. And you can use anything else for your embellishments, but no pattern paper, just ribbon and washi tape, and then whatever bits and pieces you want to add to it. So I play around with this for quite a while because I wasn't quite sure if I was going to use every single piece of this. I wound up not using the rickrack, and I really wanted to use it, but it just kind of, my idea evolved and changed as I went along here. Oh, there, it cleared back up. Thank goodness. I don't know why it was out of focus. And I like the idea of cutting the ribbon in half and making it kind of jagged, and I just run my fingernail over it to kind of fray it a little bit. Some of them frayed easier than others. But you know, I like the look, that I like the idea that it's not perfect. You know, some of the ribbon's kind of uneven, and I love making washi tape uneven, and I just tear it on the roll, and kind of, as I'm tearing it, I kind of just go back and forth, and it makes this really good uneven crooked edge, and I love that look. So I'm just taking my Scotch Quick Dry in this annoying bottle. I have not gotten to Hobby Lobby yet to get myself one of those fine liner bottles. And I'm about ready to throw this bottle out the window because I have to constantly take a thumbtack and stick it in the top to get it unclogged. So you can't use pattern paper here, so I wanted to add something behind my picture. So I pull out some tissue paper, some white and some light blue, and so that counts because it's not pattern paper. And just give it a little bit of something behind the picture there to add some texture and a little bit of dimension, because I didn't want it just flat on the paper. And tissue paper is so fun to use. It's cheap and it's easy, and you can manipulate it to do whatever you want. Now this is where I really got creative and thought, hey, I'm going to try this. I got out my clear gesso, and I wanted to add a little bit of mixed media. I don't add a whole lot, just a little bit, but I smudged this right over the ribbon and the tape, and it did not affect it at all. It just, you know, made it a little shiny there, but it actually worked out really well because I go over a little bit of the ribbon with some of my gelatos here, and it worked out great. So if this is something you want to try, go for it, because I think it worked okay. It kind of, you know, cemented the ribbon down a little bit more, even though I had glued it, but it didn't mess it up at all. So, and I just want a little bit of color smudges peeking around from the sides of the picture. So I'm not going to get too crazy here. I just like the look of these little colored, it's almost like a little shadow, I guess you could say. Nothing crazy. I just like the way that looks. And if you put the gesso down first, if you're going to use gelatos like that, it makes it real easy to smudge them around and smooth them out with your finger. Now this red is really bold, and so I use my famous Subway napkins there to dab it up, and it does make it a lot lighter, which I wanted. I didn't want it to be so red. I kind of wanted it to be maybe like a reddish pink. And again, I just wanted some of it to peek out from behind the pictures, so just give it a little bit of messy look there. So I'm going to come in with some more washi tape, and that's some old Bella Boulevard washi tape. And this is another great way to use up your tape. You know, I know we tend to gravitate toward collections for so many of our pages, and this is just fun. I like starting something from scratch and not even using a collection, just using other little things from your stash. And really, I didn't even use much of it, to be honest with you. What I just did there was I took some of my gelatos, and I'm just kind of rubbing them around different parts of the page. And up at the top there, I went right over the ribbon, and it worked out great. It changed the color of the blue ribbon a little bit, but since I went over it with the gesso, it smudged right into it. I mean, right on top of it. It really didn't mess it up or ruin it or anything. So I'm just taking some turquoise blue and pink and red gelatos and just adding a few little smudges here. I didn't want it to be overbearing or overpowering, but just wanted a little bit of, you know, interest there. That's a frame I've had cut for a long time. It's just been sitting on my desk. I think it's from the Silhouette store, and I cut it a while back because I had a bunch of open space on some white cardstock when I was cutting something else, and I thought, well, I'll cut this and use it at some point. And today's that day, so there you go. More tissue paper. This time I'm going to use some pink, and I'm just going to layer that behind those two small pictures down there at the bottom. And again, it just gives it a little bit of interest and a little bit more pops of color. And this is something fun to do that I like to do every now and then is scrap, you know, one big picture and then a couple of small ones from the same, you know, little photo shoot there. And it's fun because it seems like I always scrap the same size of picture. And so this is fun to kind of change things up. Now that file's from the cut shop. I've had that sitting around for a little bit, and I stitched everything down. The cut file is, I think it's called, oh, I forgot the exact name of it, but it's got the word borders in it, and there's several different borders, but I love that spiral looking. It's just fun and crazy and whimsical, and it's perfect for these goofy, dorky pictures. So I'm going to glue everything down, and I love the stitching. I love what a machine can do as far as stitching goes. It just adds fun texture and just more color. And you know, you can do hand stitching as well. You don't have to have a machine by any means. I love the way that looks. I'm going to add in some tangled thread here just a little bit underneath the picture, just because this is a crazy and wild layout, I guess you could say. And so I'm going to add in, who am I kidding? It doesn't matter what layout I'm doing. I add that kind of tangled thread anyway, right? Like I'm trying to make an excuse as to why I put that there. Huh. I do that every page, don't I? I'm so predictable. I can't help it. I love that stuff. Who knows why? There's no reason. I just like the way it looks. Maybe one day I'll get sick of it and stop doing it cold turkey, but I doubt it. Won't be today. Alright, so I'm going to glue that title down, and I love how it looks. I love that it's giant and huge because, you know, when you're with your friend and you're acting dorky, you need a big title to reflect that. So I'm going to come in with a little bit more of washi tape, and this is my pink striped washi tape from Michaels. They still have all these colors of striped washi tape at Michaels. Sometimes they're on sale, sometimes they're not. I think I have every color, but I've had them for a long time, and I'm surprised they still have them. It's the Recollections brand, but they're fun. So I'm going to add in a flare button from a Flare for Buttons, and it says #friends, and it's the perfect red color. Okay, and so my friend and I are far from little bows and ribbons, but I broke into the Fine and Dandy collection from Dear Lizzie, and it's the perfect colors. So I thought, you know what, we're going to be silly and goofy. I'm going to add in that little bow tie, and I'm going to add in some of these chipboard pieces, just because they match and they look cute. And I added a little rhinestone there on top of the bow, just because it matched, and again, it's something little from my stash. Now I'm going to come in and add a couple of, for a little tiny addition to my title here, and that is the basic gray prism sticker sheet, and I love it because there's so many tiny alphabet stickers in different color. And even though the ribbon on my page is brown, the stickers are black, and it doesn't even matter. It's not even that noticeable. And I wind up adding black color shine at the end anyway. And my journaling is black. And so I thought that was the perfect place to add my journaling, just describing what we were doing and why we were acting like dorks. Not that we need a reason, it's just what we do. Add in the title, and then I decide, hey, you know what? I need some more rhinestones, because I have tons of them. So I pick out some pink and some red and some blue ones, and I just scatter them around and glue them down. And I like the way that looks. Cover up my pictures, add in a little bit of splatter from the black color shine. And I think that's going to wrap it up. I hope you guys join us for these challenges. There's winners every week. There's a grand winner at the end. You can visit myscrapsandmore.com for the store. You can visit our forum and take part in our challenges all the other days of the week. In addition to this one, we have a new Facebook group, and I have the link to that in the bottom underneath my video in the description. So there's my final page. I hope you like this. I hope you take part in the challenge. It's really fun. I hope it challenges you to do something different out of your comfort zone. I think it's great. So you can find this challenge on the blog, on the forum, and the Facebook group, and it will be up this coming Friday. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a great time watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers and to my old ones, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Have a good day.